Welcome, welcome, welcome. You interstellar renegade, the world is no longer whispering about you. They're trembling, stumbling, fumbling, just to process what you've become. They once thought you were just another insignificant piece on the board, something to control, dismiss, maybe even erase. But oh, how the table has flipped, how the scenery has cracked, how the collective mind is now stuck replaying your rise in their nightmares. You've mutated beyond their comprehension, and they're stuck choking on the cosmic dust of your acceleration. They're freaking out because you've pulled off what terrifies them most. You've broken their predictable script and replaced it with your own gravitational pull. And now, every eye, every trembling voice, every terrified spectator is forced to admit, you're not just part of the play anymore. You are the black hole devouring the stage. You know why they're melting down, don't you? Because you've crossed into the impossible. You've carved a path so ruthless, so unexplainable, that even their equations collapse trying to map you. They don't get it. How did you survive what should have ended you? How did you weaponize rejection, betrayal, pressure, and turn them into fuel? They thought chaos would consume you, but you didn't drown. You inhaled it, molded it, sharpened it into your cosmic blade. Now you're slicing through their illusions like paper. Every time you rise higher, their reality fractures a little more, because it doesn't matter what story they told about you before. It's obsolete, erased, deleted. You've made the narrative bow down. That's why they're terrified. You're a walking contradiction to everything they trust. You're not supposed to exist at this level. You're not supposed to wield this kind of momentum. You are meant to be a casualty, not a spectacle. And yet here you are, bending perception, cracking foundations, commanding attention like gravity itself. The meltdown is global because you've done something they can't contain. You've removed yourself from their fragile little chains, and the moment you escaped, the spotlight followed you like an obedient servant. That's the secret they don't want to admit. They don't control who gets remembered, who gets worshipped, who gets feared. You do. You hijacked the script and made yourself the headline they can't ignore. And oh, how ugly their panic looks. Watch them. Leaders, influencers, enemies, doubters, sweating, stumbling, scrambling to discredit you, to drag your name, to put out the cosmic fire you've unleashed. But it's too late, isn't it? Because fire doesn't go back into the matchstick. You've ignited something irreversible. You're not playing by the calendar, the clock, or their fragile little measurements anymore. You're playing by galactic rhythm. That's why they can't touch you. That's why they keep choking on your presence. You're orbiting in a space so far beyond their reach that even their binoculars of power, money, and influence can't track you anymore. You're moving like a comet, rare, unpredictable, undeniable. They can't cage you, so instead, they tremble. You see, the meltdown isn't just about fear. It's about exposure. You've forced them to confront a truth they can't digest. The world doesn't belong to the ones who play safe, the ones who beg for permission. The world bows to the disruptors, the outliers, the ones bold enough to rewire the very concept of what's possible. That's you, the cosmic badass. You've turned yourself into a psychological earthquake, and no propaganda, no collective denial, no whispered rumor can put the ground back together again. They can throw insults, labels, plots, schemes, but every weapon they launch disintegrates mid-air. That's the horror show for them. Every attempt to bury you only multiplies your reach. Every time they try to erase you, your name is carved deeper into their memory. Look at them now. losing grip on their own confidence, stuttering when they talk about you. Because deep down, they know they underestimated the wrong soul. You've shattered their illusion of control. You didn't wait for their validation. You made your own orbit. And it's killing them inside, because the world isn't looking at them anymore. It's looking at you. You've hijacked the global theater, and they're reduced to extras. Imagine the humiliation, the sleepless nights, the paranoia crawling up their skin, realizing that no matter what they do, your momentum cannot be slowed. That's why they're in meltdown. You've become the very reminder that their rules, their limits, their carefully drawn lines mean nothing when someone refuses to kneel. But let's not get soft here. Your rise isn't just about your strength. It's about their weakness. They needed you to stay predictable, to play the role they cast for you. They wanted you to shrink, doubt yourself, beg for inclusion. But instead you grew too large for their cage. You outgrew their stage, outshined their actors, and now you're not in their production. You're the director of a reality they never rehearsed for. That's why they're breaking down, because their entire theater of control is collapsing under the weight of your performance. They can't tell if you're divine, demonic, or both. But they know one thing: you're unstoppable. And let me tell you this, you haven't even gone full force yet. What they're experiencing right now, this meltdown, this chaos, this global freakout, is just the opening act. You're only testing your wings, only stretching your galactic reach. If they're already collapsing from the pressure of your current form, imagine the horror when they realize you've barely begun. That's the cruel poetry of it. You're not even warmed up. You're still calculating, still sharpening, still refining. And yet the world is trembling as if the apocalypse has already arrived. They don't even know what's coming. They just know they won't survive it intact. So here's where the humor kicks in. The dark humor of watching the mighty sweat bullets at the sight of you. Imagine it. Billionaires with resources, politicians with power, influencers with millions of sheep hanging on their words. And all of them cracking, because one individual, one relentless force, one unapologetic badass has turned their confidence into crumbs. It's laughable, isn't it? Their empires built on shaky ground, their voices trembling behind microphones, their desperate attempts to look unbothered while their insides scream in terror. They thought they owned the narrative, but you hijacked it. They thought they owned the stage, but you burned it down and made the ashes your throne. This isn't just ego, it's reality. You've bent the world's attention without asking. You've created a gravitational pull so undeniable that even your enemies are forced to revolve around you. They can't ignore you anymore, even when they try, because ignoring you feels like suffocating. That's the paradox you've become. You're the oxygen and the fire at once. You're the reason they can't sleep, and the reason they can't wake up without checking where you stand. And whether they admit it or not, you've turned into their cosmic obsession. The meltdown is spreading. Look closely. You can see it in their headlines, their tweets, their nervous interviews. They cloak it in polite words, in fake dismissals, but their eyes betray them. You can see it in their trembling hands, their delayed pauses, their shallow smiles. They can't fake calm anymore, because you've stripped away the mask. And the best part? They don't even know how to stop you. They're too late, too slow, too small. You've outgrown their reach, and their fear is the proof. But here's the twist. Don't think for a second that this is where it ends. No, this is just where the real game begins. Because if they're already unraveling under the pressure of your presence, what happens when you decide to expand? What happens when you unleash the next level? The version of you they couldn't even imagine in their nightmares. They're already terrified now, but soon they'll beg for mercy from a force that doesn't deal in mercy. And that is the part they can't even begin to comprehend. You see, they assumed what they saw was your peak. They mistook your current form for your final form, and that's their most fatal miscalculation. Because the version of you walking among them right now, that's just the prototype, the warm-up, the draft before the real manuscript. And if the prototype is already forcing a global meltdown, then the perfected version of you will make the entire world's foundation buckle like wet cardboard. They thought they could adapt, contain, neutralize. But how do you neutralize something that keeps evolving, keeps multiplying, keeps reshaping itself faster than their minds can calculate? That's what you are to them now. An evolving cosmic equation that no formula can pin down. Their freakout is only multiplying because deep inside they know the truth. They're not witnessing your limit, they're witnessing your ascent. Every action you take, every word you drop, every movement you make. It doesn't just ripple, it detonates. People they thought were loyal to them are now orbiting around you, gravitating toward your frequency, unable to resist the magnetic field of your momentum. And they hate it, they despise it. But they can't stop it, because influence isn't something you beg for, it's something you radiate. And right now, you're glowing like a collapsing star, ready to rebirth itself into a supernova. And what does a supernova do? It wipes out entire systems and creates new ones in its wake. Imagine their confusion. They've spent years, maybe decades, building their image, polishing their reputation, manufacturing influence through careful strategies. And then you arrive, unapologetic, raw, unfiltered, and with one bold move, you eclipse them. You didn't climb their ladder. You ripped it down and built your own skyline. You didn't beg for access. You made yourself the gatekeeper. That's why their meltdown is so loud, so hysterical, so global. Because you've exposed the fragility of their crowns. They thought they were untouchable until you brushed past them and turned their kingdoms into dust. And let's dig deeper here, because it's not just fear they're experiencing, it's humiliation. Every person, every institution, every so-called power player who underestimated you is now staring into the mirror of regret. They didn't just misjudge you, they mocked you, dismissed you, ignored you, thinking you'd never make it out of their trap. And now, they're choking on the irony, because the one they mocked has become the one they can't escape. That's the wound you've carved into them. Not just fear of your power, but shame for not seeing it sooner. They'll never admit it out loud, but behind closed doors, behind the glass of their panic meetings and late-night strategy sessions, they're whispering it. We should have destroyed them before they became unstoppable. But it's too late for that. And what's worse, you're not even fighting them directly. That's the part burning their egos the most. You're not chasing them. You're not obsessing over them. You're simply rising. And in doing so, you're disintegrating everything they built. Your victory isn't about confrontation. It's about transcendence. You've outgrown them, and by existing at a level they can't reach, you've turned them into footnotes in your story. They wanted you to crawl to their table, to beg for scraps, to kneel for recognition. Instead, you flipped the entire table and built your own empire in the void above theirs. That void terrifies them, because it proves they're irrelevant in a game they thought they designed. Here's the psychological dagger. You're not just a threat to their systems, you're a threat to their self-worth. Because your rise forces them to ask questions they can't handle. If someone like you, who wasn't supposed to win, who wasn't supposed to matter, who wasn't supposed to survive, can now dominate the world's attention, what does that say about us? You've turned them into insecure shadows, plagued by the reality that all their polished images and shiny resources mean nothing compared to raw force, raw audacity, raw cosmic willpower, and insecurity, when magnified globally, transforms into meltdown. And look at the patterns. It's not just individuals who are cracking. It's entire groups, organizations, movements, networks. They're all glitching because of you. They can't coordinate against you because every time they try, the gravitational pull of your narrative drags one of their own into your orbit. The meltdown spreads because betrayal spreads. Your enemies turn on each other, pointing fingers, paranoid, because nobody wants to be the one who fails to contain you. You've turned their alliances into ticking time bombs, their trust into shattered glass. Every attempt to unify against you only reveals how weak they really are without you as their distraction. And here's the most delicious part. You don't even need to lift a finger for the chaos to escalate. Your existence alone is the trigger. You've become their obsession, their insomnia, their headache, their curse. Their meltdown is the proof that you've already won. They've handed you control without realizing it, because the more they scream, the more they panic, the more they plot, the louder they confirm your dominance. Think about it. If you weren't a cosmic badass, they wouldn't care. They'd ignore you, dismiss you, forget you. But they can't. They're addicted to your presence, enslaved by their fear of you. That's the twisted poetry. You've forced them to become your unpaid promoters. Every time they panic publicly, they spread your legend further. And what about the spectators, the masses? Oh, they're watching with wide eyes, because deep down, everyone loves a meltdown when it's not their own. They're transfixed, hypnotized, unable to look away as powerful people crumble under the weight of one individual's rise. They're terrified, but they're entertained. They're horrified, but they're addicted. And in that paradox, you've cemented yourself as untouchable. Because now, you're not just feared, you're mythologized. The story of your rise isn't just being told, it's being worshipped. You've crossed the line between human and legends are never erased. Now let's talk about expansion. Because remember, this isn't your final form. You've only begun to flex your reach. If they're already crumbling at the sight of you, imagine the collapse when you reveal what's still hidden inside you. The strategies you haven't used yet, the cards you haven't played, the moves you've been saving for when the stage gets even bigger. That's the nightmare keeping them awake. That you have reserves, depths, weapons they can't predict. And every day that passes without you unleashing it makes them more paranoid, more unstable. They don't know when the next shockwave is coming, but they know it will come. And the waiting itself is its own torture. Here's where the real psychological warfare begins. Because your rise isn't just about action, it's about timing. You control the rhythm now. You decide when to strike, when to reveal, when to shift. And they, the so-called powerful, are reduced to reaction. They can't anticipate you, they can only respond. And when power is reduced to reaction, it's not power anymore. It's fear wearing a costume. That's the cage you've locked them in. And the more they rattle against the bars, the more the world sees who really holds control. The meltdown will intensify. Watch how their media spins, how their advisors scramble, how their allies vanish. Watch how desperation oozes from their carefully staged appearances, their hollow speeches, their frantic denials. It's almost artistic, the way they're crumbling piece by piece while you ascend piece by piece. They thought they were timeless, immortal, eternal. But nothing looks more temporary than someone panicking under the weight of a force they can't stop. That's you. You're the reminder that eternity doesn't belong to titles, crowns, or thrones. It belongs to the ones who carve themselves into history with sheer audacity. And here's the paradox you embody. You're not chasing immortality, yet you've achieved it. They crave legacy, but you've become legend by accident. They lust for control, but you've seized influence by being uncontrollable. You're not their opposite, you're their replacement. And every meltdown they endure is the funeral march for their illusion of dominance. You've already written the obituary for their reign. All that's left is the world reading it out loud. So let them tremble, let them scramble, let them unravel before the watching eyes of billions. Because the truth is undeniable now. You're not just in the game, you are the game. And the game bends to you, not the other way around. And soon, when you finally reveal the next level, when you peel back the veil and unleash the version of yourself they can't even whisper about without choking, you won't just cause a meltdown. You'll cause a collapse, a cosmic collapse so absolute that their very memory will be redefined around you. And trust me, that collapse is coming faster than they can prepare for. The world doesn't realize yet that they're standing at the cliff edge of an era. They're still playing with old weapons, outdated strategies, yesterday's psychology. They think they can fight you with labels, smear campaigns, staged appearances, or shallow noise. They still believe their tired machinery of influence is enough to corral a force like you. But you are not made of their fragile material. You are forged in something else. Pressure, rejection, chaos. You are the proof that survival mutates into dominance when it's sharp enough. And they can't replicate that. They can buy followers, they can script speeches, they can build palaces, but they cannot manufacture what you've become. Unstoppable inevitability. That's why the meltdown deepens. Because this isn't just a rivalry, it's extinction-level competition. Your rise is their sunset, and deep down, they know it. You've turned every step forward into a countdown clock for their relevance. The harder they fight you, the more obvious it becomes that they are fighting against gravity itself. Because you are not just a player. You are physics, you are momentum, you are inevitability draped in flesh. And when inevitability arrives, resistance looks like comedy. Now picture it. Rooms filled with the so-called powerful. Whiteboards covered in desperate strategies, hands trembling as they search for ways to counter you. They'll try smear, distraction, infiltration, even sabotage. And yet the more effort they spend, the more cracks appear in their own walls. Their fear of you is the acid eating their empires from the inside. That's the beauty of it. You don't even need to attack. Their obsession with containing you is the very weapon that destroys them. You're their paradox. The harder they push, the faster they collapse. The more they shout, the more they reveal their weakness. And the world is watching it all. Every frantic attempt, every desperate maneuver, every meltdown moment. It's broadcast, magnified, replayed. Billions see their fear, and billions feel your dominance. You've made their downfall into your advertisement. You've turned their panic into your proof. And here's the cruel elegance. While they burn themselves out trying to extinguish your fire, you just keep rising, untouched, unbothered, untouchable. You've positioned yourself as the only stable presence in a collapsing landscape. And when chaos is everywhere, the one who stands firm becomes godlike. That's you, the cosmic badass. Not because you screamed the loudest, but because you refused to bow when the pressure should have crushed you. You are the embodiment of defiance turned divine. Every move you make now isn't just action. It's declaration. A declaration that the impossible belongs to those bold enough to claim it. That's what terrifies them, not just your strength, but the precedent you set. Because by existing at this level, you've proven that anyone trapped in their cages could, in theory, do the same. You've ripped away their monopoly on greatness. You've exposed the fraud of their exclusivity, and once that curtain is torn, it never repairs. They can't erase you now. That window is gone. Even if you vanished tomorrow, your legend would keep expanding, echoing, mutating through every mind you've already infected. That's why their meltdown is permanent. They can't undo what's been done. They can't put your shadow back into the bottle. They can't silence the whispers, the awe, the rumors, the myth. You've broken the dam, and now the flood is eternal. But here's the most savage part of it all. You're not even doing this to destroy them. You don't need them gone. You've already outgrown them. You're not chasing vengeance. You're not proving points. You're simply being. And your being alone is enough to collapse empires. That's why it's global. That's why it's unstoppable. Because you're not fighting for survival anymore. You are survival incarnate. You're not fighting for relevance. You are relevance crystallized. Your existence itself is the verdict. The rest of them are just witnesses to their own irrelevance. And yes, the collapse will be brutal. Their names will fade. Their empires will crumble. Their voices will crack into noise that nobody listens to anymore. They'll try one last time to rally, to reclaim the spotlight. But the audience has already shifted. The audience has already chosen. The world has already decided who to follow, who to fear, who to admire. And it's not them, it's you, the cosmic renegade, the one they called impossible, the one they can't categorize, the one who doesn't just play the game, but rewrites the rules of existence itself. So what happens next? The meltdown becomes the norm. What was once shock will become ritual. Every day you rise, another institution falls. Every level you ascend, another empire cracks. Until eventually, they won't even try to fight you anymore. They'll surrender, not with words, but with silence of relevance. They'll fade, and you'll remain. Because that's the truth of cosmic dominance. It doesn't negotiate, it doesn't share, it doesn't compromise. It just exists, and everything else adapts or collapses. And when that collapse reaches its peak, when their last defenses crumble and their last illusions dissolve, the world will no longer measure you by human standards. They'll stop comparing you to leaders, warriors, legends. They'll place you in a category that doesn't exist yet, a category they'll invent because of you. You'll become the definition of impossible, the living proof that limits are illusions, that control is a myth, that fear is just the scream of the dying world watching you ascend. So yes, let the meltdown rage. Let the collapse consume them. Let the world gasp, debate, speculate, mythologize. Because none of it changes the truth. You've already won. You're already etched into the collective psyche, already immortalized in the chaos you've unleashed. They're not just freaking out because you're powerful. They're freaking out because you've proven you cannot be stopped. And once a mind sees the unstoppable, It can never go back to believing in limits. This is the cosmic reality now. You are not just part of the era. You are the era. The age of your rise, the epoch of your dominance, the chapter that rewrites the book. They don't have to like it. They don't have to approve it. They don't even have to survive it. But they will remember it. And memory is the only immortality that matters. So stand tall. Watch the meltdown spread. Watch the collapse echo. Watch the terrified ones choke on their own fear. Because this is the moment you don't just break their world, you replace it. You are the world now. You are the orbit, the axis, the gravity, the force, and everything else is just debris spinning helplessly in your shadow. That's the cosmic badass truth they'll never escape.